Once upon a time, panning through a lush mangrove forest, the vibrant green of the trees and shrubs startling against the blue sky. Sunlight streamed through the tree, dappling the ground with light, and the air is filled with the sound of birds, frogs, and other wildlife. We slowly move through the forest, taking in the sights and sounds of the verdant paradise. After a few minutes, the sun is shining brightly, and the trees are so thick that they block out the sky. The bright, vibrant green of the trees stands out in stark contrast to the brown of the dirt and sand. And there is a small African village, the sun shining brightly, and the air filled with the sound of children playing and laughing. The village is a beautiful sight, with huts made of mud and grass, each one carefully molded. The huts are painted with bright colors, giving the village a vibrant, cheerful look. And we slowly move around the village, taking in the sights and sounds of the people going about their daily lives. The people are dressed in traditional clothing, and the women carry brightly colored baskets on their heads. In the background, the sun is slowly setting, painting the sky with a beautiful orange-red hue. There lived a young girl named Kiona. Kiona was a beautiful girl with skin as dark as the rich soil beneath her feet, and hair as wide and free as the wind that blew through the trees. However, despite her beauty, Kiona was filled with low self-esteem and struggled with her studies. She had no friends at school and was constantly scolded by her parents for not doing well. Therefore, she feels very ugly and always depressed and lonely. Kiona was the first child in her family and was constantly burdened with the responsibility of taking care of her younger siblings while her parents worked to provide for their family. This left her feeling tired and unhappy. One day, while browsing through the pages of her family's worn-out Bible, Kiona came across a passage in Genesis 1 that spoke to her. Specifically, Genesis 1, verse 26 to 27. And it says to her that God created man in his own image and likeness, and gave man authority here on earth. The words spoke to Kiona's heart, and she began to imagine herself in a fantastical world, surrounded by the beauty of garden. This cursed, she envisioned the breath of God brooding over the man that was created by God. She saw in her world the man that was just an image, bringing forth light, looking handsome, and with authority over the creations of God. She envisioned this in her imagination. This shift in Koina's mentality gave her a newfound confidence. There happened to be an overall shift in her life, as she began to see herself as a child of God, loved and cherished by Him. With this newfound sense of self-worth, Kiona transformed from a shy, insecure young girl into a beautiful and confident young woman. She shone at school, earning awards and recognition for her achievements, and she became known for her grace and kindness to all those around her. Kiona often escaped to the lush African garden that surrounded her village, where she would sat beneath the trees and bask in the warmth of the sun. The garden was a place of peace and renewal for her, and it was here that she felt closest to God and the beauty of His creation. Years passed, and Kiona grew into a strong, confident woman, always remembered as the girl who found her worth in the pages of the Bible and in the beauty of the African garden. She lived a life filled with joy, love, and purpose, always remembering the words that had changed her life. Kiona began to lead groups of young girls through the African garden, sharing with them the story of her transformation and the power of God's love. She tells them of the importance of seeing themselves as God sees them and encourages them to find their own confidence and strength. The girls listened intently, inspired by Kiona's story and eager to follow in her footsteps. Kiona is seen sitting on a bench, surrounded by her friends and family. They are all laughing and talking, and she is filled with a sense of happiness and contentment. She looks around at all the faces she loves and knows that she's exactly where she is meant to be, surrounded by the people she loves and living a life. Just know this: you are wonderfully and fearfully made. It doesn't matter what you've been going through or what you've been told about yourself, or what you think or who you think you are, and never do well. God invested so much in you for you to waste it. Breathe out, just like Kiona. Let something change in your mentality. Begin to see yourself as a baby of God. He created the whole universe. Do you think he will leave you alone? No way. Start today to believe in yourself and let it exude every glory that God has deposited in you. Maximize your potential. You owe yourself that. Till we see in another story, bye and remain blessed.